All right, so that takes us to another top question, and that is the question of tattoos.
Ooh.
Which...
You got any tattoos, Dave?
I am, yes, I have several tattoos.
I am not I'm tattoo free.
You're tattoo free? So that's now the minority, right?
I'm scared I'm sort of scared to get a tattoo. Not because I'm worried about, I'm just like,
You're afraid
ow.
You're afraid your wife will ground you?
She would probably. I think I said, if we win a state championship in baseball, I'm going to get a tattoo.
But you didn't get one when you won? You won state, didn't you?
Well, we won it once and I didn't do it. And then I made the promise after for the next one and we never got there. Maybe God was not.
I'll take you. I'll hold your hand and we'll get through it. We'll get through it.
Will you? So that tells you a little bit of what you think.
Yeah. So for me, the tattoo, I have tattoos prior to my salvation.
Fair
and I
enough.
have gotten tattoos since my salvation.
Oh, have you?
They're vastly different. Matter of fact, the prior ones are going to be covered up soon with more godly. So I have the two that I've gotten since I've gotten as a Christian. One is the empty tomb.
Oh, cool.
Over my heart, the empty tomb. And then another one I've got is I'm a part of Bikers for Christ motorcycle ministry. And we have a centerpiece patch that is an open Bible with a sword in the middle. And,
is that kind of like, kind of like, hey, you got to have it before you can get in?
No. Tattoos for motorcycle clubs.
Did it help you?
You have to be a member for 5 years before you can get the tattoo to make sure that you're all the way in. That's all. That's most clubs. Okay. So we're not a club. We're a ministry. But anyway, I did it to because it's an open Bible and it was a conversational starter with many people that we go, man, that looks really cool, and it leads to the gospel. So that is for me. All of mine are to try to point people to Jesus Christ. I don't want to make it about the tattoo or I'm not making a political statement. I'm not rebelling against the church. I'm not rebelling against mom and dad because those things have gone for a long time ago. Mine were in order to make much of Jesus. And so I know when we read in Leviticus, there's a part about, making your bodies, but as you know, that's not really talking about what I'm talking about.
Right. The scripture in Leviticus is dealing with a specific situation with the Israelites, and they were mixing pagan philosophies and pagan ideas with mourning of the dead. And so they were identifying and connecting with the dead through the marking of their skin. And so God was speaking to that as a prohibition to those people for that purpose.
Right.
And you'll find a lot of things in the Bible that are speaking as prohibitions. Like, for example, you eat pork.
Yeah, dietary things for sure.
Yeah,
do I eat pork?
Yeah.
Bacon. I'm like in Grumpy Old Men when he's talking about how he's lived a long life, but he's like, every morning I eat a plate of bacon, and then for lunch I have a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich.
Which Ron Swanson, I'd like to order the bacon on the menu. And by the bacon, I mean all the bacon.
Yeah, all the bacon.
Yeah, so
that doesn't mean I just want a lot.
But there was a period of time and for a specific purpose that pork was forbidden. Yeah. And I think we take a lot of things to the point that it means it for everybody. Nazarites couldn't cut their hair during the season in which they were going to get married. So there are prohibitions that we think, that's forever. That's forever. That's for everybody.
Well, even like head coverings. I remember when I was in Nepal on a mission trip, we were doing different churches. We were preaching the gospel, and all the women there, when they entered into the church, they covered their hair.
Yeah.
So the missionary's wife that I was with, she was a missionary too. She walked in, she covered her head. So I waited till later and I go, you covered your hair at that church, but you didn't at the other one. And she goes, yeah, for them, they're still processing everything. And I wanted to honor, but over here, they've matured a little bit more spiritually. This is a brand new church deal. And so we want them to understand discipleship. And so we're taking them along the process very slow. And we don't want to cause them to be confused with why
Yeah,
we don't do that anymore. But going back to the tattoo thing, you hit the nail on the head. It's so many people will take that stance of, well, it's completely off limits because of the one verse. And again, I think you have to look at what is the purpose of why you're doing those things. Again, what we talked about with gambling or drinking, if you don't have the money to pay the rent, yes, going to get that $300 or $800 tattoo, that's probably a sin, I would say.
They cost $300?
Well, let me ask you a question. This is going to be on you forever. Is that where you want to really, like negotiate and get them to give you a lower tattoo because of the price?
Maybe one that says no regrets or something.
Yeah, that's what you'll run into, you want somebody that is good if they're going to do it because it's going to be on your body, right? But yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous to think I'm going to spend that on, when I can't even pay for groceries or pay rent. And tattoos can even become an addiction where it becomes, again, about the tattoos where, you're just every single, all the time just getting them,
Yeah, it becomes an idol like we talked about.
Absolutely, it can become an idol.
And so we want to always avoid anything to become an idol for us. And, I have a fascination. I know my son-in-law has quite a few tattoos when he was in the Air Force. And so I think military sort of has this rite of passage, and he's got, but one of the things he's really got on his arm was that no greater love than this, that a man laid down his life for his brothers, know, and I think, man, what a great representation of not only the military experience, but as a Christian, our ability to give up and serve and lay down the things that doesn't necessarily, in that case, it means, hey, I'd jump in front of a bullet for you. But in the broader, it's like, hey, I'm willing to lay down.
Points to Jesus, what he did.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm willing to lay this down so that there's no distraction for you to know Jesus. And so.
Well, like one of my tattoos here, you can see, is a ring because jewelry bothers me. I don't have a watch. I don't have a necklace. I don't have an anklet. So, if I get an anklet, I want you to beat me up. But
oh, don't worry, I will.
I do this because I don't like, and I lose rings because I would come home and the first thing I would do was go and take my ring off. Or when I'm preaching or teaching, I'd mess with it because it bothers me. And so I lost 2 wedding rings because I would take them off all the time. So I went and got a band. So, and most people, they see it from a distance, they think it's a ring. But I have this ring.
But you're only half married because you don't have it on the other side.
Well, you don't hold ink very well there, and it spreads and everything. So that's why you don't do it. And that's what you can't see. But anyway, I want people to know that I'm spoken for.
Yes. Well, there's no way you're getting it off. I mean, I guess you could. They have those tattoo removals. But
that's more painful than the actual tattoo.
I don't.
But anyway, that's what they say. I haven't done that. Yeah. But
looks like you're all in. You're all in if you get one. I mean, you're all in. I mean,
because if it's gone, it's going to be a scar. There's always going to be where you could have seen it. So you really need to think through what I'm going to do. Because like my very first one was a Yosemite Sam. I really wanted Foghorn Leghorn, but I couldn't find a good picture. So I had this Yosemite Sam that means nothing. And people go, what does that mean? I'm dumb.
I don't know. Yeah.
So you just need to really think those things through. Does it honor God? Does it point people to Jesus? Does it make much of him? Kind of a deal. Like anything else.
Piercings.
Same thing. Is it a distraction to people? I would say anything. And, you can't really, other than the ring thing, you can't really see any of mine unless I want you to. Unless we're at the pool. And then you might see it.
At the pool. Yeah. I don't want to see it.
But I also don't want it to become a distraction where I don't want to have a theological debate if it doesn't honor God.
Right.
So that's what I would say about the issue of tattoos. And we could touch more upon that if people want us to.
Hey, thanks for watching this segment of the Mission City Podcast. There is more content in the full session, so click right here to watch the full episode and click here to subscribe and see more content like this. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.